Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 18 of our Lariat League Wrestling Local to Global series. And as you can see in the top left hand corner, we are at Ashes to Ashes, our second big pay-per-view of the year. And you can see by the numbers here, just under 3,000 people. I believe that's our biggest attendance to date. In the Crystal Palace National Sports Centre, which I think is an open air arena. So it's a nice sunny day in June, I hope. If not, we're going to get some wet wrestlers, which, you know, might improve the match quality. You never know. But we're starting here with William Regal hyping up the crowd in the pre-show. We've got 3 pre-show matches. 2 of them don't really matter. One of them is actually a number 1 contenders match, who will face the new inaugural Prince of the Lariat League, whoever that may be, later on in the show, next week at Lariat League in London. I'm not going to run through the card because you will see the card down below in the comments, not in the comment section, in the description. So please leave a comment down below of who you think is going to win what. And yeah, let's just dive straight into it. The first pre-show match is a singles match between Ayesha Ray, arguably our best wrestler, I'd say, on the roster, taking on the recently signed Rina Yamashita, who, let's be honest, probably is now our best wrestler on the roster. And in a pre-show bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Ayesha Ray gets the win. Welcome to Lariat League, Rina Yamashita, says Ayesha Ray. They don't click at all in their performance, so it made for an awkward bout, which is a little bit annoying. But I guess we'll just keep these two people apart, which is fine. Aisha with a 57, Rina with a 60. Obviously, if they did click or there was no chemistry notes, they both would have easily been mid-high 60s. But a 62 overall, pretty good. But it is the pre-show, so it doesn't really matter too much in terms of overall score. Following this, we have a tag team match. Boisterous Behaviour and the KO Squad. They've been exchanging tweets over Twitter. Because Twitter is still a thing in 2025. I can see into the future. Threads can do one. But yeah, they've been exchanging tweets, and this match has kind of come about over the beef that they've been having on the social media platform. So in a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Boisterous Behaviour get the win. They silence Anthony Okoku and Levi Muir. 11 minutes when Darius pins Levi Muir. So Leon Slater carrying the match as expected. Yeah, they're all kind of slightly underperforming here, except Leon. When I say underperforming, I mean that's their usual number, which kind of sucks. Like, I kind of wish that, especially Anthony Okoku, when I brought him in, I was like, this guy's going to be my next big thing. And then, you know, he hasn't done much. So he can sit in, you know, the mid-card for now, and we'll see what happens in the future. But Levi's going to be a star in the future. He's slowly getting better. He's the new Aaliyah James for us. Remember her? Because I don't. But the next pre-show match, the final pre-show match, which will be kind of broadcasted on YouTube as its own separate video. It's a number 1 contenders 4-way match, and the winner will face our new Prince of the Lariat League tonight. The new Prince Lariat League tonight, but the winner will face them in Lariat League in London next week. So it won't be tomorrow's episode, it'll be the following one, so week 2 of June. So let's see who's in that match. We've got Charlie Sterling. Oh, it's a 5-way. Charlie Sterling, Gursdinder Singh, Michael Okoku, Colby, Corino, and Fabian Aichner making his debut. And in a pre-show match that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, it's Michael Okoku that gets the win. He defeats Singh, Sterling, Corino, and Aichner when he pinned Fabian Aichner with the lowdown. Charlie with a 64, Gursdinder Singh with a 58, Okoku with a 59, Colby with a 57, Fabian Aichner with a 57, and a 64 overall. You know, pretty good ratings across the board. This is what you'd expect from our mid-card, kind of as I said to you guys regarding Anthony Okoku, mid-50s or so. That's kind of what you'd expect. So let's just recap the gimmick change of Aichner. Just looking at him here, you know, beautiful man, great physique and jawline, very jealous. And he's got the proud foreigner gimmick because I believe he is Italian. So yeah, he'll come out, you know, donning the Italian flag or something similar. And Okoku is our number one contender, and he will face one of the three men, that being Ricky Knight Jr., Dominic Dijakovic, or Dan Moloney. One of those three will be our champion. And speaking of that match, it is the one that opens Ashes to Ashes. You know, the mini pyros have gone off. You know, we've gone all out here in the Crystal Palace National Sports Centre, and we are starting with the three-way match to decide our inaugural Prince of the Lariat League. And in a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat, it's Dominic Dijakovic that gets the win. He defeats Dan Moloney and Ricky Knight in 24 minutes by pinning Ricky Knight with the Dijection. Oh, what a cool name for a move. So he is our inaugural Prince of the Lariat League, and already confirmed for Lariat League in London, it will be Dijakovic taking on Okoku for that title. 71 rated match, an awesome start to the show. Moloney with a 64, Dijakovic with a 64, Ricky Knight with a 66. Oh, poor Ricky. And yeah, awesome opening match. These three are kind of like the faces, I'd say, of our upper mid card. Like, I don't think any of them are just main event yet, but you know, winning this, for example, Dijakovic is going to elevate him and push him to that main event scene. And Moloney and Ricky Knight Jr., you know, they're future stars. I can already tell you that. So yeah, great opening match, love that. Let's move on, where I think we have an interview segment. Yes, it's William Regal interviewing our current queen of the Lariat League, Heidi Katrina. And Heidi kind of cuts the promo of her life here, just saying, you know, a lot of you don't think I deserve to be the queen of the Lariat League. You know, I kind of won and took advantage of Millie McKenzie's injury. I, you know, wish the best for Millie McKenzie. She's a fantastic talent, great girl. But, you know, I took advantage of a situation just like anyone else would. And tonight, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Zoe Lucas, I know your weakness, and I'm going to take advantage of it. And I'm going to win and prove to you all that I am a deserving queen of the Lariat League. So, great little promo from Heidi. Done a little bit of research on her. I haven't seen her wrestle much. Like, you know, I've looked on YouTube and stuff. There's not really a great deal out there. But across her social medias and stuff, she posts a lot of pictures of her physique and stuff like that, and she's in great shape. Like, I think she's a power lifter as well. So yeah, she's in, like, if you look at her, she looks dominant. So let's see how dominant she is when she faces our Queen's Quest winner, Zoe Lucas, later on tonight. But first, we are in the Knights division, and Gunnpowder will be defending their Knights of the Lariat League title against Fantasmambo, who I think are probably some of the fan favourites at the moment. You know, Funky Phantasma were great, but Taguchi kind of, you know, fell by the wayside and was let go. But that didn't stop the funkiness continue, because Chuck Mambo came in and has more than filled Taguchi's gap. So we've got a great match up next. Who's your money on? Let me know. 74. Oh, just getting better and better as we keep going. In a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat, Gunnpowder defeat Fantasmambo in 19 minutes when Timothy Thatcher, of all people, of course it's Timothy Thatcher, pins El Hijo del Fantasma with a London Bridge is falling down. Gunnpowder have made defense number 4 of their Knights of the Lariat League title, and honestly, they look unstoppable. Timothy Thatcher with an 80, Bobby Guns with a 66, Chuck Mambo with a 52, which is really good, and El Hijo with a 75. And we've got a little negative here. The match was a little too short in our audience's eyes, so we probably could have gone longer. I was conscious of the time of this event. I think we've gone over the 2 hours, but with events, you've got a little bit of leeway either side. And I thought, you know, I think I marked it as 21 minutes, so it's the computer that chose to go slower. But yeah, Gunnpowder retain. Unfortunately, El Hijo and Chuck Mambo, they both lost in singles competition last week, and they've lost in tag action too. So our Knights of the Lariat League stay as Bobby Guns and Timothy Thatcher. 74 rated match, our best match of the night. Will it stay our best match of the night? Who knows, because we've got 3 more matches. And following this is the Queen of the Lariat League match. And in a decent match, Heidi Katrina gets the win. She defeats Zoe Lucas with a spear. So she said that she knew Lucas's weakness. She hasn't disclosed to us what it was. If there even was one, she could have just been, chatting shit. But she gets the win nonetheless with that spear, the same spear that took out Millie McKenzie, which is probably quite dangerous if you think about it, given that Millie broke her neck mid-match. But this is defense number 2 of her Queen of the Lariat League title. Remember, we made Aaliyah job to her just to, say goodbye, Aaliyah, have fun. Aaliyah, who is now officially with NXT, she's no longer a part of the company, just so you guys are aware. But Heidi with a 41, that's not bad. She can get better, we hope. Zoe Lucas with a 51, which is probably the best she's done in Lariat League so far. So it's a shame that it's a loss. And they've got great chemistry as well. So this is something we can easily return to. Love that. And she's getting better of her gimmick too. All the pluses for Heidi Katrina. You love to see it. 40 overall. We wasn't expecting this to be a crazy good match because, Zoe Lucas, although she's good, she's not like amazing. She's not on like Ayesha Ray, Millie McKenzie, sometimes Nixon Newell's level. And Heidi Katrina is very untested talent who, was never meant to be in this match, but she's now our champion. So we're going to see what Heidi can do as champion. And this is a big win to officially, I'd say, start her Queen of the Lariat League title reign. Following this, though, we have the next match coming up, which is Cara Noir taking on Grado. And Cara Noir's here. He's in the ring. He's waiting. And his music starts playing again. And at first the crowd are like, "Hey, you've messed up the audio." But in fact, it's Grado taking the opportunity to mock Cara Noir. Grado comes out with the makeup on his face, prancing around like he does. He's got his bum bag over his shoulder. And he is just mocking the life out of Cara Noir's very serious, very artistic Black Swan entrance that he usually does. Which, if I'm being honest, you probably shouldn't wind up Cara Noir. Already, Cara Noir is a very dangerous opponent, and Grado is poking that bear, or should I say poking that swan. So yeah, let's see what happens. I think Grado's made a grave mistake by winding up Cara. So let's head straight into that match and see what happens. In about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Yet, as expected, Cara Noir defeats Grado with a vicious package pile driver. Grado is out for the count. 1, 2, 3. Cara Noir with a 73 performance. Awesome performance from Cara. Grado with a 49. And there's no respect post-match. Cara just simply gets up, gathers his things, and leaves Grado in the ring to be attended to by the medics, helping him out the ring. And I think this is kind of a bit of a shock to the system and maybe a wake-up call for Grado to maybe take professional wrestling a bit more seriously. So if I was a betting man, I'd say the Swan and the Scotsman are probably no more. So, yeah. But a great win for Cara on a pay-per-view. Unfortunately, Grado was at the receiving end of that, but it'd be interesting to see what Grado does next. Is he going to keep up his current cheeky persona, or has this maybe, shaken him up a bit and, made him realise that there's a time and place for everything. Following this match, though, is our main event. Yet we're here already. This isn't an AEW pay-per-view that's like 5 hours long. This is just over 2 hours. We've got our King of the Lariat League match, and it's a rematch from our King of the Lariat League match from our last pay-per-view, because Ashton Smith in that 4-way match defeated Dijakovic, Moloney and Ricky Knight Jr. to earn an opportunity again. And keep in mind, he also pinned Tyler Bate, or I believe it was Trent Seven, all those weeks ago in tag team action with Charlie Sterling. So, anything can happen. Will Ashton reign supreme again, or will Tyler Bate, the wise young man, continue as our King of the Lariat League? Had a hiccup there, sorry guys. But let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it. Who's your money on? Let me know. In about that had superb wrestling in a 79 rated match. Ashton Smith. Oh, Ashton Smith defeats Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate's reign is over within 2 months and 2 defenses. And Ashton Smith is once again our King of the Lariat League. Wow. I think it's important to preface now, as you can tell by my surprise, Let me just show you in the road agent notes. I haven't picked anyone to win any of these matches. This has all been based on the computer because I find that a little bit more exciting. Unless there's a specific story or narrative I want to run, I don't choose a winner just because I want to be just as surprised as you are. And I'm very, very surprised at this. I thought Tyler Bate had this in the bag, especially when you look at the 81 performance of Tyler Bate and the 66 performance and underperformance from Ashton Smith. He still got the win. So Ashton Smith is our two-time king of the Lariat League. Wow, I did not think I'd be saying that today. But Ashton is in the ring. He's celebrating, and just like the match ended a couple of months ago, he offers a hand to Tyler Bate, just like Tyler Bate did, and Tyler accepts that handshake, goes, you know what, you bested me on this occasion, congratulations. And they shake hands in the middle of the ring. But as they're shaking hands, unfamiliar music hits, and we're all kind of looking around going, what the hell, who's this, who's coming out? It's only Drew fucking Galloway. Yes, Drew Galloway is here, and he is at Ashes to Ashes, and he doesn't do much. He stands on the ramp. He soaks in all of the praise, all of the cheers, all of the screams, and the, oh my God, it's Drew Galloway. And he just simply points at Ashton Smith's belt that's hanging over his shoulder now. And Ashton's kind of looking around. He's pointing at himself, and Drew just says no. A little bit more specifically, pointing at the shoulder, and Ashton then points at the belt, in which Drew nods. So it looks like Drew Galloway is here, and he is looking to get that King of the Lariat League title off of Ashton Smith. And that is how we end Ashes to Ashes. A huge debut from Drew Galloway. Let's just recap his gimmick. Badass gimmick, because, you know, he's a badass. Extremely marketable. He's going to sell a load of merchandise, which is awesome. But yeah, a huge name joining LLW and just slotting straight into that main event scene, because, you know, where else is he going to be? So poor Ashton Smith probably kind of wishes that Tyler Bate had won now, because no one's going to want to take a claymore to the face. But yeah, let's see how we did. What a show, and what an ending as well. A 70 rated show overall. That is our highest rated show of the series so far. And wow, yeah, we've got a huge match already booked for Lariat League in London coming up. We'll have Dominic Dijakovic defending his new Prince of the Lariat League title against Michael Okoku. We're going to have Heidi Katrina's reign officially begins, I'd say, starting today, because, you know, before it's kind of a bit of a farce. Cara, Noir and Grado, what's going to happen between them? And Ashton Smith, I think, surprising us all by defeating Tyler Bate and becoming the king of the Lariat League. But how long will that last, with Drew Galloway making his appearance and debut and already claiming that king of the Lariat League will be his soon? Yeah, let's make a speech just to, you know, praise who we need to praise. In terms of performances, I think we need to give Ashton Smith a hug, because, you know, how did he pull that off? Tyler Bate had an incredible performance. Let's point him out as a great example. Where is it? Great example, great example. Good example then. And yeah, let's give Drew a hug as well. We always hug people on their debut. So yeah, there we go. Ashton Smith, Tyler Bate, and Drew Galloway. So I'm going to head back into the office. We'll just take a look at our creative, because I don't think we've looked at that in a while. We'll look at the titles as well, see what's happened with the Prestige. And I don't think there's much else to check, because it is just the night after a pay-per-view. So I'm not too sure how long I've been recording for, but it shouldn't be the longest episode. But yeah, I'll meet you guys back in the office. I'll see you there. Okay, we're back in the office now, and just looking at our viewing figures for Ashes to Ashes. We got 65,330 viewers, which I think is pretty good, to be fair, for a company of our size. Let's knock that out. How much have we made so far? 13,000 we've made so far this month, which is pretty good if you think about it, because this is our first show of the month. So hopefully we'll keep making profits. Obviously you can see it kind of dipped a little here, but that's because we sold Rev Pro, so let's just ignore that. Popularity, I don't think we're going to see any change here. 48, or actually, Yeah, we've gone up in pop already, thanks to the event. Awesome. That is great to see. Hold on, are our ticket prices still very cheap? Oh no, for events they're cheap. Should we maybe knock it down to very cheap, just so that when we have the events there's that extra boost? Or we'll just leave it. We'll leave it as is. House or tour show, we don't have any house or tour shows, so that doesn't really matter. But what do we say we're going to check? Let's look at the titles first. And look, that's a familiar face, isn't it? Ashton Smith with that belt around his waist. He's been the champion for 1 day, but if we include this mammoth reign of 27 defenses, yeah, he's a long old champion. Let's look at that prestige though, 42. Yes, since I think that's when Tyler won it, wasn't it? So yeah, it's jumped up in prestige. Awesome to see. The Knights of the Lariat League, they haven't been defending it as much as we'd like them to, so it hasn't grown too much. But it's on the rise, that's all that matters. Obviously the Prince of the Lariat League, Dominic Dijakovic here with that beautiful looking belt. All of these belts are, unique to Lariat League in London thanks to AI. That's honestly, you want a belt made for a custom series, just hop onto ChatGPT, Bing AI, whatever you use, and ask them to create a belt, give it a theme, because if you just say create a wrestling belt, blah 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 blah, it will basically make a WWE belt with a WWE logo and then add something to it. So make sure you say a specific theme. But looking at the prestige, obviously, yeah, it hasn't gone up. It was made in October, but it was only unretired a week ago. Queen of the Lariat League, Heidi, Katrina. We've had quite a few Queen of the Lariat Leagues now. Not on purpose. Millie McKenzie is meant to still be champion, but hey ho, these things happen. Hasn't gained in prestige since Millie won it. That's fair enough. And then we've got the Queen's Quest here, which I don't know what happened. When I changed it to tournament, it then got rid of Zoe. So I think I'm just going to retire this title. And yeah, we'll maybe just make a new one or something. But jumping into the creative, let's have a look and see what's happening. So straight in, Drew Galloway's debut. He's now our top star, our franchise player, you could say. Tyler Bate coming in second, Dijakovic third, Timothy Thatcher in fourth. I mean, just for his in-ring skill alone. And Ashton Smith, our current king of the Lariat League, slotting in fifth. I like to think that Ashton Smith is our true franchise player. He's been here since day one, unlike these guys who we've brought in as we've got popular. So I got a bit of a soft spot for the OGs, him, Ayesha Ray, Cara, people like that. They're gonna stay here as long as I can keep them. Next big things, no one. That's not good. Hot prospects though, Zia Brookside, whenever she's bloody available, because she's always in Stardom. I would like to start actually using her and give her matches. Jade as well, someone we need to use more, especially because it says that she's going to be big. Millie McKenzie, Millie McKenzie, you would be a big thing or a hot prospect, but you're out for a year and 2 months. And then yeah, Colby and Leon, I'm really high on both of these, so especially the Boisterous Behaviour, want to kind of build those guys up. And Colby, I think in himself, can just get better as the weeks and months progress. Talk the talk, obviously Regal's at the top, Grado's up there. We've now got Drew Galloway, who can apparently talk to, and Rina Yamashita. Can she speak English? Personal info, fluent English, perfect. We'll be making use of that then. And Okoku apparently has got good charisma and microphone skills too. So yeah, that's why I kind of brought him in. He had that charisma side, and I thought he had the skills, but not as much as I thought. Showstoppers. This kind of writes itself. I'm surprised that Timothy Thatcher's not here. He really should be. But the rest of these I completely agree with. Very excited to see Drew Galloway in the ring. I reckon we'll see his debut very soon. El Hijo's at the top though, which is awesome. Cara's in there too. That makes sense. Yeah, can't argue with this list. Ring Generals. Timothy Thatcher. Yeah, thought that Timothy would be there. He's consistent. He's easily our best in-ring performer right now. But as we said, Drew Galloway is now here. So that would be one hell of a match, wouldn't it? Oh, the options, the dream matches, the LLW dream matches now. Incredible. Who's hot? Ashton Smith, of course he is. Timothy Thatcher too, yeah. Bobby Guns makes sense. Tyler Bate makes sense. He probably would have been higher had he won last night. Ayesha Ray too, she's suffered 1 or 2 losses, but, she bounces back every single time. Who's not? Michael Okoku isn't, but he did just get a #1 contendership, so maybe he can turn those fortunes around when he faces Dijakovic in a couple of weeks' time. And Dan Moloney, unfortunately, he's come in. He's lost the King of the Lariat League #1 contender, and then he lost the Prince Lariat League match. So we're gonna have to start giving him a few wins to kind of prove why he was in those matches. And then Hidden Gems, I don't think this has changed for a while. Although Wesley Baratheon looks new. Is he a regen? Wesley Baratheon enters wrestling. Do you know what? I'm not mad about that picture either. Normally I want to change it. He's a high flyer who joined the world of pro wrestling in June 2025, so he is new. The Liverpudlian is 5'7", oh, and a high flyer. Switch between face and heel. He uses the Winter DDT. I wonder what that looks like. Let's look at his numbers. Not the best so far. Great star quality though, which would make me want to bring him in already. Resilience 93. What's his stamina? 51. Oh. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this. Let's shortlist him, see if anyone else picks him up. But he is the highest hidden gem, so he said could probably turn into a very useful member. Normally it would say like turn into a star. These worth a gamble ones, they're not worth a gamble. Zan as well. We had Zan very briefly, but then she got a serious injury. I think she was out for a year or so too. So yeah, let's not bother with that. But yeah, I believe that's everything in this episode. Let's just bring up the show again, just so you guys can relive the amazing show that we had. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Next episode is going to be the same as the usual formula. We're going to get the first 2 shows of the month and then follow that with the final 2 shows of the month, and we rinse and repeat until we get to an event / something crazy happens in the office. So yeah, thank you very much. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.